Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca. It's time to work on this diamond painting called Shared Home from Diamond Art Studio UK. I have got a fair amount done, primarily because I could multi-place. It's been very blocky down this part. In fact, at one point I took my cover paper off completely and just pinned back the clear cover and just went by colour. It does start to get a lot more bitty up here, and I did find, I wasn't able to, I suppose, hone in on things quite as easy, so I did decide to put my cover paper back, but that was only sort of just not long ago at all. Apologies if you can hear the washing machine. The washing is never ending in this house. So yeah, I am continuing on with it. I think I did more on this last week than I have done this week. It's been a bit of a busier week in relation to other things going on in an evening. But yeah, very happy with how it's coming on. I do know it is going to slow down, especially as I get further up. It's going to get a little bit more bitty, a little bit more doing it in full sections. But it's kind of nice to sort of feel as though, I don't know, it's a little bit quicker during, after that first excitement. It then gets, a little bit quicker before it slows down again. With it being 100 centimetres, it's quite nice to have that bit of a jump. Okay. My multi-placer managed to pick up 6 then and drop 1 on the way. But let's zoom you in until I sort of roughly where I am, and then I'll just move it over as I go along. I hope everybody has had a great week, had fun, whatever it is that you're doing, had a great weekend. For those in the UK and Ireland, I hope you are enjoying your bank holiday weekend. We always seem to be beginning of the year heavy with bank holidays, tends to be how it works, and with Easter falling near the end of April this year, the bank holidays seem to be in quick succession, one after another. So we had the long Easter bank holiday weekend, then we had a normal weekend, and now we have another bank holiday weekend, and then there's one at the end of the month. Then I don't think we get one for a good while. But I'm still going to be enjoying them while they're here, especially this weekend, because the weather is supposed to be nice along with it. It's a little bit cooler today, a little bit cooler than it has been. It's been up to 25 degrees, probably even warmer actually. But yeah, now it's more down to like between 18 and 20, which is definitely what I prefer personally. It's a lot more manageable in my opinion. So yeah, enjoying these last few days where it's a bit cooler. But yeah, let's get on to comments, questions, etc. So these are all primarily comments from last week's WIP and Waffle. There may be a few from Thursday's WIP and Waffle if they come in after I filmed it, but before the new one went up. Tends to be the way I'm sort of working it. It's rough. There may be some that cross over from other WIP and Waffles, and there are some that aren't. But I try and keep, them roughly in the same WIP and Waffle if I can. just because sometimes the questions are about what I'm actually working on, and it makes a little bit more sense if I can do it that way. But Liv from Liv's Dotting Den, she says she loves my progress. Thank you, Liv. It's definitely coming along. Say it will slow down, but for now it's going great guns, which is good. She says she's now started to see which symbol jumps out at her. She says which helps her loads as she feels like she is progressing quicker. She says she loves it when she gets to fill in the remaining drills. She said it gives her a sense of achievement. Yes, very much so. It's like a nice progress. Sorry, it picked up an extra diamond then, but it was one with lots and lots of tiny little holes in the top. So I just flicked it into the bin rather than flicking it back into my tray for it to annoy me again later. But yeah, if symbols jump out at you, especially when something is quite confetti, it can definitely be easier to do it that way. And I reckon that's what I'll be doing when I get to the sort of further up section where it starts to get very bitty. I have got some of them with these sort of arms that are turning into branches. I did get some of those, and there are probably the odd one or two that is underneath this cover paper, but I had to draw a line somewhere because it was getting a lot more chaotic and it wasn't calming for my brain. So I decided to just go, okay, this is the point that we are then going back to doing it by sections of cover paper. But yeah, should make some good progress on this up till then by getting some of this multi-placing done. Liv also says, she says, brill advice on the pegboards. She says there was so much choice, she says, when she was looking around on Thursday. She said it was so nice with it not being too peoply, she says, like it is on a weekend. Yeah, if we have to go or want to go on a weekend to pick something up, we don't go until about 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. It's the only time that we can stand it at the weekend. It's like right at the end of the day, it's like, okay, now we'll go get this done. But more often than not, we go quite often after 8 o'clock through the week as well. Or school times. If you go school times through the week, that can sometimes not be too bad. She says, Liv and crowd, she says, are a good combination. She said also, she said she didn't get another Kallax. She went for the Trofast with the wire baskets so she can see what she has in the drawers. She said she saw it on display and she just had to go for it. She says she will do an update video. She says thinking about it, she says she doesn't think she would have anywhere to fit a pegboard now anyhow. That's true. If you got the small cart, because I'm sure you said you got a cart as well. If you got the big cart, I'm pretty sure you can fit one of the pegboards on the side of the Raskog, like on the end. You can cable tie it to your Raskog and use it. So that is an option if you did pick up a cart. But otherwise, you know, they don't always have their uses. It depends if you can. Pegboards are great for tools and things that you reach for often, but only if they are near where you work and reach for them often. Otherwise, if you've got to get up to get it, then what difference does it make, really? You may as well just use a drawer as much as anything else. So yeah, they're not always suitable for every occasion or for every room, but if you do have space for one, especially one near where you work or do things, then they're awesome. They're absolutely awesome, which is why mine on the walls to the right and left of this desk are great because I can just reach out and grab something from them that I need. It's where I grab all my tape and pens and all that sort of stuff. Sue Tap, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, oh, I think I read this one the other day actually. She says, where can she see the videos on my quilts? In fact, I did read it out. There is a playlist for quilts, just in case anybody missed it, but that wasn't my intention. I've just remembered I left that comment so that I could pop a link to the playlist for her in the comment as well as saying it on the video. So apologies for duplicating a question. That will be because I forgot to put in the link after doing Thursday's video. But if you watch Thursday's video, it was one of those kinds of days. I was too busy doing too many things. That was my problem on Thursday. Right, quite a few of these drills are actually stuck together. They're like clumped together. I have been using my little jar from the Advent the other year to sort them out and to break them up. But I'm just trying to see how many I can use before I go doing that with these ones. I think I need to straighten up my potty as well. Everything's a little bit all over the place. Okay, let me do my singles. Do my singles over here. Okay, that's my top row. The colours are very, very similar, but the symbols are different, so I can quite easily see the symbols. Doesn't mean I won't miss any, but I can see them. There was one of them that was really, really hard to see the different. Like, they were different, but because I was multi-placing, sometimes my brain just did not count the squares properly. So that was fun. Okay, have I got a couple more ones that are already loose? I do. So I'm just trying to get all my little bits up until where I'm done. And then get my big ones to move over. Or my ones that are clumped together and are actually like little balls. Okay, get off the multi-placer. Still doesn't want to stick down. There we go. Push it down with my finger, make it work. Okay, where is my pot? I brought my pot over. I just then covered it up with my laptop. Oh, in fact, there's some still there. Some staticky ones still in the lid from when I last did it. But this little jar, just a little jar from the Advent the other year with a bolt inside it. And it's just a matter of shaking it. I tap it against my hand because then I feel like I'm not sending my arms like jelly. And then it is actually handy if I use a dryer sheet to put them in, because the agitation in the jar can give static because of course it's sort of friction in the process that often causes static. So I am going to do myself a favour and tip them onto a dryer sheet first. Take my little bolt out and pop it back in there. Or is it a nut? It's a nut, not a bolt. So pop that back in there and then put the diamonds in after they've gone through the dryer sheet. And most of them are now separated. So instead of a load of ones clumped, I have a load I can actually use, which is exactly what I need. because they won't go down on the diamond painting if they're in balls. Well, they might do. They might stick, but they wouldn't look right. Okay, BL Adcock says, hi Rebecca and Zesties. Our plan for this weekend is taking their children and grandchildren to a hibachi grilled dinner for birthday celebrations. Ooh, that sounds fun. Their daughter turned 41. Their son turned 40. She says they are Irish twins. She says also their son-in-law has a birthday this coming week and he turns 39, and they're celebrating their 14th wedding anniversary. I think that's son-in-law is celebrating their 14th wedding anniversary. She says she's looking forward to having us all together for the celebrations. She says she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and her team of doctors call her an overachiever as it was found in both breasts. Oh my goodness me. Get it over and done with all in one. Just deal with both of it at the same time. It's better than having it in one and then it coming back in another. So she had surgery to remove it and reconstructive surgery. She says next week she has a consultation with the radiation oncologist. She says she has been blessed, she says, as the 5 spots were found early on in an annual mammogram, and they were all super small and contained. She says no chemotherapy needed, thankfully. Oh, even better. Get it all sorted out in one kick and caboodle, and hopefully that's your lot. She says she can still diamond paint and she's been able to work on her paint gems and snack size canvases. She says she loved the vlog. Yeah, mine nearly didn't go up vlog. They've got better, if that's any help. They've got better as they've gone along. There is another one due up on Tuesday. And then I have filmed one for the following week. I've done sort of another day in my life, but like a full day. So there is some exciting ones coming up. Okay, I think I've done all of that side of the arms. I have, or at least I have in this diamond. Now I'm going to move on to this middle section. I was tempted then to sort of change up the colours and then do the next one in this section, but I feel like if it spreads over to this one I'm going to confuse myself even more. So I'm going to stick with this one, and if I need to put the diamonds in my little shaker every now and then, when a batch of them needs something doing with them, then I'll do that. Okay, and I've just managed to put putty on my canvas as I was trying to get this rogue diamond off. So let's put my diamonds on first, and then nearly had it. Okay, this is what I didn't want to do, was to end up scraping it into the glue. And I had hold of most of it, and then it pinged back on me. Went straight back on the painting. All right, a little bit of it's fine because I still find that it sticks. But 958, I do have some in my extras, and I actually have another bag of them as well. Ooh, let's use the bag rather than the extra pot, because if I don't end up going through all of them, then I can keep that label on that extra pot and use it up. So let's do it that way. Hopefully this extra bag doesn't have as many that are clumped together. but we shall see. It may be that it does, but that's fine. So yeah, she also says, this group has really helped me through my medical issues, she says, and she wants to thank you. Oh, bless you. She says, sorry for the long post. Love and hugs, Laura. Oh, thank you, Laura. Yeah, long posts don't bother me at all. I'm so glad it's happy news, you know, or at least the best of a bad situation type news. And I can imagine it was a really worrying time at many times until you got answers. And that can be the worst thing, is the not knowing. But yeah, I'm so happy that it's all turned out the best it can in that sort of situation. And I really, really hope you enjoyed your weekend with family, surrounded by family, doing happy things. Happy things are all good. My weekend this weekend will involve, for definite, cleaning the house. Not so happy, but I didn't do it last weekend at all. And I kept saying it was my birthday weekend. I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm doing other stuff. We were out for days. I was like, oh, I'll pick up bits in the week. Yeah. Kitchen got done. You know, kitchen and stuff stayed clean. Dusting, not so much. Not so much at all. So this weekend will definitely involve me going round with a duster, good hoover, and tidying all those bits up. Those bits that end up not going back into their original home throughout the week for no reason other than I've quite possibly seen that the room's a mess and just decided to make it even worse. Rather than just putting something away. And then the rest of the house does the same. So yeah, that will be part of my weekend, but because it is a long weekend, I am hoping to get a little bit of crafting in there as well. But we shall see. See how the weekend goes. Trying to get as many sort of in as I can before I start going in single placing. Probably tipped a few too many diamonds in my tray, but it's okay. I'll just work around them. Work around the ones that are being a pain. 2. Kerry. She says, hi, Rebecca and Zesties. She says she's loving this canvas. She says she's a lot of colour blocking, which it is. And I think at the point that I'm starting to get a little bit tired of a lot of colour blocking, I'm going to end up with quite a bit of confetti, which is going to be really good and sort of change it up a little bit for me. I've been loving seeing the sort of limey green colours come together. It's one of my favourite colours in diamond painting. I don't decorate my house in it, but I love it in diamond painting. One of the quilts I'm thinking of making has lots of limey yellowy greens as well, so we'll see if it carries on to my quilting as well, but I'm not quite ready to have it in front of my face all the time in decor. Just in smaller quantities works for me. Okay, I need a reshake. Oh no, we do still have quite a few clumpy ones. I mean, it was bound to happen because they probably were all created at the same time, and whatever part of the process caused them to sort of stick together is bound to have happened to all of them. But that's fine. I will get rid of as many as I can that are not clumped together and then go from there. Oh, Kerry also says, she says she's not been able to diamond paint over the last 2 weeks. She says she fell down 3 stairs at home and fractured her humerus. Oh, she's got her arm in a sling, she says, and she might have to get a cast for 6 weeks. So she is watching loads of diamond painting videos. Oh, living vicariously through me, pretending that you're diamond painting when it's not. That must be so frustrating. It's like any time you're ill, isn't it? It's always when you don't have the time to be ill. Or what can be worse is an illness where your brain is still wanting to do, and your brain is active, ready to do things, you know. Not an illness where you just want to go to bed and sleep, because one of those, you know, often that's what's best for you. And if you're ill enough that all you want to do is sleep, then, you know, you're not wanting to diamond paint. What is more frustrating is an illness or an injury that stops you from doing what your brain wants to do. It's so frustrating. I got so frustrated when I pulled that muscle in me neck or shoulder or wherever it flipping was. I just know it was annoying. It was so annoying because I wanted to do stuff but couldn't, and had to be careful. Even if I technically could, I had to be careful to not make things worse or make things last longer. And it was the frustration. It was so frustrating. So I hope you find something that, you know, makes you happy and keeps you entertained enough and keeps your mind off not being able to diamond paint at the moment. Or maybe it's time to practice the skill with your non-dominant hand. Maybe try a round though. I don't think I would even like to attempt doing squares with my left hand instead of my right. I think that could potentially be an absolute shambles. Shambles. Right. I ended up putting that in the wrong place. I think yeah, they are. I thought they were clumped together. Okay. Cat Lady, she says she found the electric hookup for her sewing machine. Woohoo! She says, but it was a hand-me-down from her mum. She said so she needed the instructions, which were always kept with the cable, but not this time. Goodness me, one thing after another. But she says all is not lost. Her lovely hubby, she says, has bought her a new machine as an early Christmas present. That is early. Love it though. She said, yes, he's a definite keeper. That is awesome news. So glad, you know, that you can continue sewing, crafting, and obviously if you've been using the hand-me-down for quite a while, it's something that you know you're going to put to use, and maybe even use more than you used to use the hand-me-down, especially once you know, get to grips with the machine and how it works and what it likes, what makes it behave, all those sort of quirks that are always fun when you move from one machine to another. So yeah, perfect news. Anne, she says it is so fun, so funny, she says, hearing me multi-place after all these years. Yes, I've had so many years that I have single placed everything, every single diamond. Single placing was my jam. It was what I did. I wasn't interested in multi-placing at all. But when it's come to a painting like this, I'm actually really glad that I did decide to give it a go and picked it up. There are some instances when it's like, oh yes, I made the right decision. On some of them. On some of them though, I will sit there and I will multi-place like twos. If there's loads of different twos all over the place, I'll sit there and multi-place them, and then I think to myself, why am I doing this? because I find it so much quicker to do twos singly rather than multi-place. It's when I can pick up the whole like 5 of them to multi-place and do like, you know, bigger, longer rows. That's when it's beneficial to me to multi-place. Not so much the twos. I mean, I do it on the end of rows because then I've got less to sort of fill in afterwards. It's when it's a painting that has literally twos dotted all over the place in with another colour that may have a load of twos all over the place. It's those ones that I'm like, why am I doing this? Just get single placing, woman, and get it all filled in. I don't like it when my multi-placer loses one out the middle though. That gets frustrating. Okay, couple more to do, and then I am going to single place this next section because it's sort of, these are my little dividers now, these little arms. So now I've got to the end of there, I am going to single place all these ones that are left over, so I can draw a line, or that arm can be my line before I move on to the next section. Some of these are dotted way up where, so I need to pay attention to that for sure. Ended up with quite a few over here. No, there's still more. 2, 3, no, oh, 4, one tucked in there. Okay, I think that's got them all. So now onto my middle part, doing this colour. Mysterious Days, she says it's her second watch on the video she's commented on for her to finish watching it. She says she follows a TikTok account, she says, that does a series called How Long Does This Actually Take? She says on stuff that she procrastinates on. She says often, she says those tasks that bother her and she spends months avoiding, she says takes about an hour at most. Yeah, definitely. Quite often the tasks are really, really small that end up being procrastinated on, and they don't take a lot of time at all. Sometimes for me it's frame of mind to get stuff done. And I have actually found with a couple of the vlogs that I've sort of done, sometimes I cram in quite a bit more, or at least focus more on shop stuff for more of the day than getting sidetracked by bits around the house. And I think it's because I'm doing the vlog. So it actually helps me focus and get some bits done when things need getting sorted. She says, and then it inspires her to do more because she's motivated from the accomplishment. She says she's been using that thought process as much as she can. She says because it's a good way to think about tackling those things we don't want to do. She says, and that's been bugging us, or we just can't do them. She says, and then sometimes giving a reward. Yeah, I agree with that. I have on my daily task list, I have what's called a special task, which is a task that I don't really want to do. Quite often it's a task I don't really want to do. Like, I want the end result of it, but I don't want to do the physical aspect of it, if that makes sense. So it's not that I'm doing something that has no reason. It is something that needs doing. it's boring, it's tedious, and I would procrastinate it for ages. So I have what's called a special task on my daily thing, and sometimes it will be half an hour on a couple of different tasks. Sometimes it will be, 10 minutes on one task and then move and do a bigger chunk of time on another task that's maybe even more exciting. Depends on what the task is and how quick it needs doing. But I find just saying to myself, you're not finishing it, you're just doing 10 minutes of it, or you're just doing half an hour of it, and doing that at the same sort of time each day, which is a bit of limbo time for me. It's often when I'm waiting for the postie to arrive at the door. By doing it then, and then that time in between the postie coming, because if he's on time, there's only like 15-20 minutes before everybody starts getting in from work, so it's not worth like starting another full-on task, but it is the perfect time to throw in doing a mundane task. So yeah, that's my special task, is bits that I procrastinate and don't particularly want to do but need doing. And I have that on my task list each day, so that actually gets them done. Right, these do need to go into my shaker, but I needed like 2 to finish that section. So some of them break apart like really, really easy. They just break apart on upon touch, but then some of them don't. So let me zoom you out. Hopefully you can see a little bit better what it is that I'm doing. But all of these now, pretty much all of them, are clumped together. So I'm going to tip them in there. There's one of them there, but it's not clumped to anything. Put them in my jar. Shake my jar about, bash it against my hand, just so that the nut that's in there attacks all the others, and then tip it onto my dryer sheet, because we do end up with static. So loads of those have stuck to the top of the jar, but they're all separate. And then I wipe out all the ones in the jar, because they're all static as well. I haven't actually tried putting a small piece of dryer sheet in with to see how that has an effect. I haven't done small dryer sheets for a while now. I keep using a full one, so maybe I'll put one of those in next time and see how it does. And I'm not putting it back in the jar, I'm putting it back in there. There we go. Just rub them across the dryer sheets. Put that back together, and there we go. They're all broken up. In fact, all of them are, I think. Well, we'll find out. Let's do a little bit of multi-placing, but there is a lot scattered across the bottom here, so there's a lot that can't be multi-placed. But that's good, because I like to sort of try and clear out a tray before I fill it up again for the next time. So we'll see how many of these we can get done. This is the likes of the part where there's lots of 2s, and I think, why do I keep filling in 2s? More so when my tray is full. When my tray isn't full, filling in 2s is fine, because often that's only the amount of diamonds that I can reach anyway. But when I'm on a full tray, I'm like, why am I doing this? But yeah. Michelle says happy birthday. Thank you. She says she hopes that I have a lovely weekend, which I did. I went quilt fabric shopping, even though I do not need any at all. I did a little show and tell in the vlog that I filmed this week, so you will be able to see that in a couple of weeks. I just did a show and tell of some of them. It's just sort of part of the daily vlog, so it's mixed in with all the other stuff. A little bit of something for everybody. Aaliyah she says she's using this waffle as a break from study. She says she has got 1 unit done and handed in on time, which I did see, and that's absolutely fantastic news. She says the other 2 presentations are due Tuesday and Wednesday this coming week. She says she is going to ask for an extension on 1, she says, because of this ongoing health issue that she has. That started in April. She says she's doing her best to focus, but again, she says getting stressed / anxious and then unable to do anything. She says she's taking it hour by hour. She says she may have ordered Glow and Mouse in the house from Diamond Art Studio UK last night as motivation to get uni work done. Well, that's not a bad one to pick up at all, because that one's beautiful. She says she thinks Glow has been on her mind, she says, since it came out in 2023. Yes, Glow is a gorgeous one. She says it's finally mine. She said, especially with the fact, she says, that her mental health has been rough for some time. It has, and it's finding things that work for you and ways that you can get stuff done. I know I used to, when the kids were younger, there used to be like a lot more forums, which was more so than Facebook groups and things. So there was lots of different forums for lots of different things. And there was ones on, you know, general housework and whatever else. And I actually found it so helpful to go on like one of the daily threads on the forums and write my day's to-do list on there. So like I wasn't the only one that could see my list, and then go in and use the strike through option to cross items off my list as I did it, you know, like editing my post type thing. It was like I had accountability, but I also didn't. So it wasn't like I had somebody nagging to me, are you doing it? Are you doing it? You know, why have you not got this done yet? But because I knew my list was out there and I knew I was going on to update said list when something was completed, it motivated me to do it. So if need be, do post a post in the group, your plans for the day or for the week. I'm going to get this done this week. I've got this assignment due. And just put comments on your own post updating it. So rather than having multiple posts, have one where you just say, you know, this is what I need to get done this week. I've achieved this week. And even if nobody replies, it's amazing how it can sort of spur you. So if you think that's something that might work for you, then say you may find doing like a weekly one is something that works a little bit better. And just comment on your own post. Right, so I've got 5 here. 5 different diamonds that didn't like come apart in the jar. So it could be that they just didn't get sort of hit at in the right place. Sometimes it is actually because they do not want to break apart. I've had that before, and they just do not want to move. So what I tend to do, because there is only 5, I'm just using my fingernail to sort of break them apart and make them come apart. I've had some, not necessarily this painting, other paintings, where they did not want to come apart, and I just got rid of them. I was like, I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting with you. But for the purposes of this, I've just broken them apart with my fingernails, and I'm just going to get them placed on the canvas before I pick up any more. I'm trying to sort of get bits that multi-placing can't get, or won't, you know, there's no point in getting because it's only a single diamond. But yeah, If there's like loads more, like I've put too many in the jar and there's just too many for it to cope with, then I'll put them back in the jar again and do it as like a round 2. But for this one I don't need to. So Mysterious Days, she says, funnily enough, she says she ended up choosing to change the way she stores her drills. She says her best friend changed hers, and since she didn't know what to do, and 2 photo boxes of spare storage like was her limit, she's going to switch over to those, and when she has the chance to mail them. She says for now they are sitting in storage in Ziplocs, she says, that have been used and reused for craft related stuff, so they will be organised when they come. She says the photo boxes got repurposed to good use too. Awesome news. I always love a good rearrange, good sort out, good way of, you know, it's always worth trying new ways of stuff. If you find something's not quite right, it's always worth trying another way. There are a few things that I have done, you know, multiple different times till I've settled on what's right for me. There are some things that I managed to find storage that works for me first time. Sometimes it can work for me for years, but then, you know, maybe the way I use something or the amount of something that I have to store or the space I have to store it in means that I have to change it after a while. But yeah, I love sort of all of that. Photo boxes for my spare storage was, I think, my second. I did try the baseball card binder things first, and that wasn't working. So I just actually sat on it for a while thinking before I came up with the photo storage box idea. I think I was in Australia when I did. If I remember rightly, I'm pretty sure I thought about it in Australia. I was so excited when I got home to be able to actually do it, because of course it wasn't something I could actually put into practice while I was in Australia. But yeah, I was so excited when I got home and managed to do it. But it may have been, my mum had quite a few photo boxes with photos in. That may have been what made me think photo boxes could work. But yeah, but that's one thing I've never changed. It doesn't work for me for ABs and things, because I find I forget to use them. But for my spares, it works absolutely perfect. Bev says happy birthday. She hopes you had a wonderful day. Thank you, I did. I went shopping for fabric. I had an amazing day. Aaliyah, she says she has started the storage revamp. She says 2 sticker sheets are onto cardstock. So 2 sticker sheets onto cardstock is done. Going to work through the cardstock and then she's going to do the baggies. She said it was so nice to hole punch and file away 1 unit of her uni work into her folder. She said she can't wait to do it for the other 2 once she's done the other 2 presentations and handed in the other bit of work. Yes, there is an accomplishment to putting things away when they're done and just going, oh, that means I'm finished. She says accommodation for her for next year is sorted as of yesterday. That's also wonderful news. It's amazing how early you need to sort out accommodation sometimes. I know sometimes Catherine sorted her accommodation in like October. I know when Caris was there, when she was house sharing, and it was like private landlords renting to students, they started looking in September, October, and it was all done and dusted for the following September by Christmas, because the good houses just went. Whereas where Catherine is, there's a lot more sort of company run student accommodation blocks of places. So hers has been a lot easier to sort of do later on. I guess it depends what uni you're at as to how it works. But in Chester, it's a lot of private landlords, and it's a lot of looking very early on, unless you're first year, and then you can have the uni house accommodation, which yeah, but you pretty much start uni and start looking for your accommodation for the rest of the year all at the same time. Okay, right, I've got quite a bit of bittiness here. In fact, what I think I'm going to do, because I think it's just going to be easier for me, is I'm just going to do a couple of these that are like 3 and 4. But it's definitely, I say the symbols are completely different, but when you're multi-placing, sometimes it can be a little bit harder to see the exact number of symbols on some of them. So I'm just going to do a couple of these that I can see are like 3 or 4. I'm not going to bother with the 2s. I'm just going to go in and single place and not make it hard on myself, because this is easier for me, because I can just work my way up in a sort of systematic fashion and get these all done and not have to think, is it 2, is it 3, is it 4, how many do I need to place? Oh, I've counted wrong, I've put 2 down and it's actually 3, I'm going to have to single place. No, don't need to bother with any of that. Doro be punked. She said she had a little incident, she says, while diamond painting last week. Is that a good incident or a bad incident? Sounds bad. She said she still had some drills in the tray that were in the spout, ready to be poured back into the bottle. She said instead of pouring them back, she added the next colour. Ouch. Oh no, I hope they were different. She said ended up with 2 mixed colours in her tray. Oh, I really hope they were different colours. Like easy enough to see. Not like working on a gradient like this or shading, and they both end up being very, very similar. She says it wasn't fun to find the first colour in her case with a bad light in the evening. Oh. She says, and 280 colours to search the right one. She says, but she found it in the end and then finished diamond painting for the evening. Sometimes that is exactly the way to go. It's like, yeah, quit while you're ahead before even more things start going wrong. She says they have a few shorter weeks ahead of them, with a lot of bank holidays and longer weekends, which, yes, is always good. She says she's looking forward to a few days to relax. She says she hopes me and the family are doing well, which we are, thank you. She says she's also looking forward to June Waffle. Yes, June Waffle is going to be good. It's going to be good fun. I'm excited. I need to kit that up soon. Need to do a video on kitting it up. I like to do the video, you know, quite a bit earlier than the event starts. So I need to make sure that's, I'm sure it's on my YouTube calendar, so it'll definitely pop up when like I need to do it. But I also need to sort of have that in my brain, because I need to figure out how big the sections will be that I'll be doing each day. Jess Diamond Paints, she says happy birthday, thank you. She says she hopes that I had an amazing weekend and she could see that I was fabric shopping. Yes, hubby broke the news that I was out fabric shopping in the group, but yeah, I had an amazing time, and then I got to get home and stroke all the fabric while I put it all away, which was even better. Lady Dax, she says when she was doing shared home, she says she was not multi-placing. Oops. Yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, then again, I did quite a few definitely like bigger ones. not multi-placing. You're getting a little bit of a rhythm, I think, sometimes. You just get going. So there is something therapeutic. I find single placing a lot more relaxing than multi-placing. But I can imagine that the painting, yeah, was going on for quite a while, probably. Hanging around for quite a while, that's for sure. She says, yes, she says the Diamond Art Club, she says 4-placer is a game changer. She says she even does it horizontal now too. She says, but then she does work flat on the table so she can see it easier. Yes, on an easel I find horizontal not as well. I have done it on the very odd occasion, you know, where it's a really big amount and I'm like, I would really want to try and make this work. So I have done it in the past. I just definitely prefer vertical where possible, and it's only rare circumstances that I do horizontal, and normally only if all the diamonds around it are done, so that I can sort of force them into the right place, and not have to mess about. Oh, that missed a diamond, didn't it? I hate it when it does that. It just doesn't quite catch a diamond. It's so annoying. So I'm trying to do just a lot of the 5s. See, it's done it again. Probably needs to change my play. Oh, she also says, she'll sort out puppy photos for the group. She says when they get some quiet time. Yeah, well, that'll be a while then. I can imagine there's not going to be a lot of downtime with a puppy. They are harder work than a toddler, I think, quite often. But yeah, I would not want to do the puppy stage again at all. Not on your Nelly, as they say. Sammy Lou, she says, why do kids just not be weird? I think that's, you know, it's what children are supposed to do, isn't it? It's what makes us adults laugh anyway. That's for sure. But she says her 2-year-old decided to eat sand. She came up to her hacking and she was like, what, are you okay? And she starts raking at her mouth with her hand, saying, and she told me she'd eaten sand out of her sand pit. She says, honestly, kids, well, there you go. She has learnt something new that day. Even if it is just to not eat sand. I suppose we've all probably had an occasion, whether we actually remember it or not is a different matter, but we have probably all had an occasion as children where we have tasted sand and realised that it is not the best. The amount that we've tasted could quite possibly depend on any potential parental intervention, but yeah, I'm sure it's something we've all done at some point. At least it won't do any real harm. Pam, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she has 3 more physical therapy visits and then she will be done. Woohoo! She says she has to walk with a cane now because of what she did to her knee and her tibia, but she's doing good with her walking. She says she has she's been listening to my videos while she diamond paints, and she thinks the diamond paintings that I'm doing, she says, are so beautiful, and she always looks forward to the next video. Oh, that's fantastic news. So happy that that's worked for you. Okay, I think I do have a few comments left, but I am going to have to leave it there because I have things that I need to get done. But thank you so much for joining me for this next stage of this painting. I'll be back with another WIP and Waffle on Thursday, and then of course the following Sunday. But yeah, I'll speak to you all again soon.